got to rush. Oh yes. This is me, Mr. Rush. Got to go, too busy. Well, as you can see, Mr. Rush is always in a rush. This is him. And this story is written by Roger Hargreaves. I am Saachi and I am telling you Mr. Rush's story because he has no time to tell stories. I'm late, thought Mr. Rush. He jumped out of bed. He rushed downstairs and brushed his teeth. But he had no time to brush, so he brushed only one tooth. Then he went to breakfast. He put an egg to boil, he set the toaster with the bread, and he got the jam from the cupboard. All in a muddle. He took the egg, took the bread, and set the table. The egg wasn't boiled. The bread was barely toasted. And eating only half of everything, he rushed out of the house in a rush. He ran in circles a couple of times and then trod on Mr. Happy's feet, saying, I'm in a rush, too busy to talk, gotta go. Ow! Thought Mr. Happy, not looking happy like he usually does. That fellow is in such a rush, thought Mr. Happy as he walked away. Mr. Rush rushed home after a while, ate a messy lunch, and sat down. He barely had time to sit and read a book. Rather a magazine, books were too long. He was reading it. A holiday. Mr. Rush's face lit up. But I have no money. Then his face lit up again. I could get a job, he said and rushed out of the house. What job to get, he wondered. First, he went to Farmer Heidi and said, would you have a job for me? He said, trying to reduce his pace so people might hire him. You could milk the cows. Well, that's always needed. Come along, I'll show you, he said and put his arm in Mr. Rush's arm and took him to the cows. Cows, thought Mr. Rush. And he bent down. And then he became his usual rushy self. He couldn't resist. One thing cows hate more than anything is being rushed while they are being milked. And even after he got the milk, he kicked it and spilled it, so the cat got to drink it. So the cat liked him, but not Mr. Heidi, and Mr. Heidi kicked him out. Oh, thought Mr. Rush. He got a job as a bus driver. Yes, he thought as he rode the bus. But he was no good at that. Rather, a disaster. He rushed around so fast and he didn't stop for people at bus stops. So obviously they were sad and angry with him. Then he got kicked out of that job. Then he thought, I'll get a job as a waiter. Now, you would think that's a job he can do. He will give orders very fast. But no. When he was a waiter, he rushed around and once the people had not even started eating, he would get impatient and take all the plates away. People didn't like that, especially Mr. Greedy. What can I do? Mr. Rush wondered. He was in despair. He thought and he thought and he thought until suddenly he had an idea. A wonderful, marvelous idea. He went to a building and went inside. He talked to a few people and got a job. Now, you might be wondering what that job is. I'll tell you. He got a job in a post office as a postman. Now, that's a job he could do well. He delivered 300 letters one day. He was marvelous and he became the best postman in the world. And if you ever see a rushing postman, Be sure to say hi to him because he'll be Mr. Rush. And then Mr. Rush earned a lot of money from his job and he could go to that holiday. He thought relaxing. He was on a beach. I shall go for another swim, he said and splashed into the water. It was his 15th swim that day. Now thank you. Like, share and don't forget to subscribe. Got a rush.